And so here we have the timed engine here, and we're just fitting up some pistons. These new pistons versus the carboned up pistons. Just using a universal spring compressor. That's what Audi had stated to use on this engine. I do not have any specific bore size to tell you, other than, yeah, there's some bores on the size. It says 84.55. So here, some tips. You got to set your piston ring gaps 120 degrees apart. The 120 degrees apart will help with the compression. So one here, one there. So that's your top ring, your second ring, and your oil scraper ring gaps down here. So that's how I have set these up, and yeah, these are doing pretty good. They look great. These pistons, they're all in the holes. I don't know why I didn't shoot a video earlier, but basically there is some arrows on these pistons that indicate the direction that they're supposed to be installed in. But really, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You have the valve recessions there in the cylinder head. And yeah, so we got new chains, everything's torqued up, new pistons, new bearings. Speaking of bearings, all the bearings were pretty good on this one here. As we can see here, no real scoring. The worst bearing I had was actually this one here. So it wasn't right through, but like enough scoring that one may say, okay, you know what? That's through the babbitt on the one first layer. Second layer is okay. When we were doing piston jobs at Audi and repistoning all the 2 liters, this would be okay just to put it back together. We wouldn't say anything because replacing the bearings as part of the piston job was not part of the job. We had to reuse all the piston rod bearings. The recall was an actual service action, but I mean, it wasn't necessarily let's re-bearing your engine. It was just repiston your engine when those 2 liters were happening. This is again another bearing here. This was the upper on piston number 4. Just a comparison here, and this is the upper on piston number 2. Okay, so we've got some thrust happening on that connecting rod, and well, everything went well after that. So I'm using this Max Tough Royal Purple synthetic lube assembly. Seems to be really good. Holds in the engines quite nice. I used to, back in the day, use like an assembly paste, almost like a white paraffin wax, and I noticed on one of my engine builds the following season the wax had dried out, and the engine was very tough to turn. And in fact, I don't even know what happened to that engine because I ended up selling it. So but here we go. This is a really messy job. Just have all your rags in order and basically continue on. There could be some better tools to have for regards to the piston ring compressor, but Audi says right in their manual, just find a readily available commercial piston ring compressor. And this is what we have here. Good old, what we call Canadian Tire here in Canada, but whatever shop, usually Auto Value, Auto Parts, whatever store is going to have that. And we'll continue on. Next time you'll see this will be with the at least lower pan on, connecting rod bolts replaced, and that should be it. We'll give this a quick flip here. On this side, you can see here, had everything labeled in regards to where it all goes. I wanted the same rods to be in the same holes, pointing the same direction, and yeah, everything was looking great. That crank is just nice and clean. Maybe put a microfiber on that, make sure. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Really, really nice and good to go. All right, more to come.